Today is July 26th. It's the 208th day of the year, and this is the On This Day podcast. Born on this day in 1895, or 1896, or maybe 1902, possibly even 1906. Actress Gracie Allen, one half of the comedy duo Burns and Allen. Gracie Allen is born in San Francisco on this day, sometime before the earthquake of 1906, which destroys all of the city's public records. She never reveals what year she was born, so no one knows for sure. Her husband and comedy partner George Burns claims he never knew for sure himself, and they were married for nearly 40 years. Whichever year it is, she's born on this day, and doggone it, that's all that matters. Allen is born with heterochromia. She has one blue eye and one green eye. As a child, her left arm is scalded when a pot of tea falls on her. She has a scar on her arm and shoulder for the rest of her life and always wears long sleeves to cover it up. As a young girl, Allen and her sisters perform Irish folk dances billed as the Four Colleens. She and her sister Bessie take their act to the vaudeville circuit, where she meets her lifelong collaborator George Burns in 1922. They begin performing together and get married 4 years later in 1926. In the early days, Gracie is the straight man, and George delivers the zingers. But George notices a problem with the act. As the straight man, Gracie is supposed to set up the jokes for George to deliver the punchline. But Gracie's setups are getting bigger laughs than George's punchlines. So he reverses their roles. He plays the straight man, setting up the jokes. Allen delivers the punchlines, and their act takes off. Allen plays the classic ditz. As Burns describes her character, she is the ditziest dame in the world. But what makes her different from other dumb Doras is that Gracie plays her as if she is totally sane, as if her answers actually make sense. They call it illogical logic, and they have great success with it on the radio, TV, film, all the usual mediums. Burns and Allen also pull ongoing gags as publicity stunts, one in which Gracie looks for her missing brother, her fictional brother, who she says wanted to go into the restaurant business, but didn't have enough money, so he went into the banking business at 2 o'clock one morning and got kidnapped by two men dressed as policemen. They maintained the ruse across many guest spots on a number of radio shows, until her real brother, who's inundated with requests from journalists, asks them to stop. That's in 1933. They pull another stunt in 1940, when Gracie runs for president as the candidate of the surprise party. Burns and Allen mount a nationwide campaign, and they do a whistle-stop tour, and along the way, Allen makes a number of campaign promises. She pledges to settle the Florida-California boundary dispute, and she pledges to give the East Coast a 25% rebate for California's weather. Allen also says she won't reduce the national debt. She says we should be proud of it. It's the largest in the world. Gracie Allen receives the endorsement of Harvard University, but she loses the election to FDR. George Burns credits all of their success as Burns and Allen to Gracie Allen. Burns routinely jokes that all he had to do was say, "Gracie, how's your brother?" And she talked for 38 years. In 1958, suffering from poor health, Gracie Allen retires from show business. George Burns tries to continue their TV show without her, but Gracie is the heart and soul of the show. The George Burns Show lasts less than a year. Gracie has had crippling migraines all her life, and in her later years, heart disease. Gracie Allen, born on this day, passes away in 1964. at the age of 62, or 68, or 69. George Burns visits her grave and talks to her every month for the next 32 years before he passes away at the age of 100. When he's 92, he writes a book about her. Gracie, a Love Story, it's called. He says, quote, "Gracie made my whole life. I told her I was writing this book about her. Evidently she approves. She didn't say anything."
See, we're right close to election time.
Oh, and don't I know it. I heard a political speech on television yesterday. It was very interesting.
Was the speaker Republican or Democrat?
I think so.
Well, couldn't you tell by what he said?
Well, I didn't listen to him. You see, when I vote, I want to have an open mind.
Well, I wouldn't open it too much. You might catch cold.
Well, I'll be careful.
Watch that now.
Did you ever know that my Uncle Otis ran for city councilman of San Francisco?
Oh?
Oh, and what a campaign he put on.
Kissed all the babies, huh?
Well, no, why should he? In San Francisco, very few babies are old enough to vote. There was a big public debate, and all the candidates for councilman got up and made speeches.
Oh, they made speeches?
Yes, they told what they do for San Francisco to make it a better place to live in.
Oh, campaign promises?
Yes, and the first one got up and he said, "If I'm elected, I promise to clean up the city."
Yeah.
And the next one said, "If I'm elected, I promise to stop all crime."
I'll bet Uncle Otis topped him.
Yeah, well, he did. He got up and he said, "If I'm elected, I promise to move to Los Angeles."
There are 158 days left in the year. On This Day is produced by me, Dave Schultz. Thank you very much for listening. Born on this day in 1928, the great film director Stanley Kubrick, one of the few cinematic geniuses who reinvented himself with every new film he made. Also born on this day in 1959, the equally innovative Kevin Spacey, actor, producer, and digital pioneer. So if you're still listening, generosity is its own form of power. Talk to you tomorrow.